Why is it that the one place we're supposed to feel safe and secure and loved and cared for is the one place, can be, not always can be, the one place that you never want to be, or the one place that you're always feeling broken and you're always feeling hurt and you're always feeling unloved? How is that even possible? How am I supposed to have a safe space in my home for my children when it is not a safe space for me and I don't even want to be here, hang around? I know relationships take work and effort, sacrifice, loyalty, trustworthiness, humility. But I don't know, when your significant other has had a childhood so far removed from yours, or doesn't realize that all the things that they needed as an adult to be instilled in you as a child that was not there is now affecting your entire life and process, but you're not able to see it, or you won't see it. Is that how most adults live with children? If you have a child, it's like you don't go back into all of your childhood upbringing and figure out why you are the way you are, or why you do things the way you do, or am I making any sense? So basically, for myself, I see how I am and I want to be better for my boys. I have to be, because I am the only example they have of how to treat women, how to be loving and affectionate to women, how to speak to women. Unfortunately, their dad was never instilled with those tools of how to be caring and affectionate and loving. I mean, he is that way to his boys. Within reason, of course. But when you live with somebody, you see all sides of them. And they see all sides of you. Or they only choose to see things. Or as an individual and a human being, and sometimes we can be so selfish, myself included, you only choose to see the bad or the ugly or the incomplete or the inconsistent. I see both, but I don't know how to communicate, I guess, or I try to. I think I have learned and grown so much in making an effort into trying to communicate better and better express myself with words in a nicer tone and not trying to let my anger or my defensiveness get the best of me. Sometimes it's hard, when they're talking to the other adult in the house and they just know all the buttons to press, and or if you just open your mouth they've already become ornery and agitated and irritated before you even said anything. It's a lose-lose situation right from the get-go. I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to get my point of view across to make things better in our home. Is it not common sense for you to want your children to see how to love somebody, how to care for somebody, how to treat somebody with respect? But if we weren't told as children, how to treat people and how to respect people and how to care for people, and we only have our selfish nature and ourselves first always, I don't know if it can change. It can get any better. Boys, especially boys, they need to see their parents being in love. They need to see their parents holding each other. They need to see their parents kissing and doting on each other and respecting each other. And even when they fight and argue, they need to see you work it out and not hold it against you constantly or always bringing it up. I learned over the holidays that my boys, the lessons you wanna teach them equality. I've realized that you want to teach them equality amongst girls and boys. But when I was growing up, it was always, girls are not supposed to hit boys or, all of those kinds of nuances that comes with boys versus girls. And I realized that I have not been instilling that in my boys. And I guess I just assumed that it would be their dad that taught them that. But I guess I'm learning that if I see behavioral patterns in them that are not healthy, that I have to be the one to change it. I have to be the one to show them to be better. I have to be the one to show them how to treat women, how to be respectful, be caring, be fair, not to be condescending and sarcastic and manipulative. Sometimes I just wish that it would be so much easier if I just wasn't around. But I can't not be here, because if I'm not here, then they don't get to learn everything I have to teach them. They won't be well-rounded individuals. They won't know how to treat girls, or how to talk to girls, or how to be loving and respectful. They will grow up. If I don't stick around, I feel like they will grow up with a lot of white boy privilege, and very very selfish. That's how I feel. It's not true, might not even happen, but it's how I feel. They might grow up to be very selfish, entitled, young white. They're not white, they're mixed, okay? They're mixed, but their dad is white. And I've come to see and recognize the white privilege that people talk about in him. And he is completely oblivious to it. And if I try to say anything or bring it up, I get shut down. And I get told some nasty things about turning around on myself and who I am and how I am. And so I just don't want to ask Scott. I just don't want to ask. I just don't want to ask their dad for anything, because the whole situation is so fucked up and it's so messed up. And I feel so alone, and I'm just like, how can you not see how we're fucking up our children? Because I remember my childhood, my parents always fought so much about so much. And I realized that a lot of what I was exposed to as a child is what has become acceptable in my own relationships. And I see it in my own siblings' relationships. I see all of the ways that we have come to accept what the norm is in our relationships is because of what the norm was growing up in our households. And now being a parent to my boys, being a mother to my boys, I realize how fucked up our situation was. And I wish that we had somebody that had reached out to us and asked us if we were okay, asked us if everything at home was okay. We raised our children, not just me, everybody just raised their children with doing the best they can. And sometimes It does wonders. There's a lot of great people in the world. And sometimes we just fuck up our children even more fucked up than we are. And that's all I want to do. I just want to break this cycle of fucked upness. I just want my kids to have a better. I feel like I had a pretty decent life. It wasn't the life that was sucky. It was the emotional instability in our house that we grew up with that kind of fucked us up, you know? And I'm trying to be better for my boys. I'm trying so hard. But when you're in a house that no longer feels like a home, you have nothing. You don't know how to make it better or how to get out because you have nobody and you have no support from your family. What do you do? How does it get better? How do I keep fighting? How do I find the strength? How do I find the energy? I find it because it's for Xander. It's for my boys. I don't know. Sometimes it's so hard. I just wanna sink into my bed and just disappear forever. Feel so much easier sometimes than getting up and trying to be the best that I can be when you feel like all odds against you every fucking day. You just wake up and it's just another rampage. And you're like, I don't even know if I'm making any sense. But I think I've just finally woken up back to my reality since the holidays and just realized that nothing is better. Everything is still the same. It's still I'm becoming so much of a shell of myself. Trying to be my best self and trying to be positive all the time and trying to not be so confrontational or defensive. I'm just like, that's just my armor for protecting myself because I don't know how else to. I have looked and looked and looked into what I can do or how I can get some help. But everything fucking costs money. Everything. Oh God. I can't do shit without money. I can't get the help I need. I can't get the help my kids need. I can't get out of here. I can't. I feel like I have a million different things to do immediately all at once. And I don't know where to start. I don't know how to start. I feel like I need a lifeline, but at the same time, I know that I have to do it by myself. Because if I don't want someone to turn around and tell me that to throw their help in my face, basically. I know there's so many strong women in this life. So many women. I've heard so many stories. About all the strength of the women in and around my life. And not even, I'm not talking about celebrities or like Oprah Winfrey or anybody that is a name that someone else knows. I'm talking about just the local women right here in Ireland, in my hometown, that are such a strong women and have overcome so much. I just want to be me. I just want to be me. I just want to live a decent life. Live my true life. Expose my boys to everything that is possible and teach them that the stars are the limit. That there are no limits. They can reach for the stars. But in everything you do, be happy. Why do we forget how insignificant we are in this world and how little, how little my life means on this earth, in this universe? Why do we forget that we are so small and insignificant and that we could be taken out in a flash? Literally, a car crash, a heart attack, appendicitis, I mean, plane crash, an asteroid, a meteor, I mean, a volcanic eruption, an earthquake, a tsunami. So many fucking things that happen around this world, that are happening on this planet. And all I can do is be in my fucking feelings because I'm human and I am not getting what I need. And I've realized that when we as humans, I guess I should talk for myself, but I realize for myself that when I don't get what I need and I know what I need, I'm always searching and looking for it in the wrong places. And then I end up hurting myself even more than I was hurt to begin with. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Because I'm human? Because I need to be touched. I need to be loved. I need to be held. Without those feelings, it makes me feel incomplete. I was so excited for the holidays. I'm so excited for the holidays every year because I love Christmas. And this year, I was so excited to go see my family because it's been so long. And it's been 2 years since I seen my sisters, over a year since I seen my parents. And just for the last 5 years, it's just been shitty. One death after another in our family. All this grief, all this pain, all this anguish. We find ourselves dealing with it. Our accident. I should have had the ambulance come and get checked out immediately because I have never been the same since the physical ailments I have in my body on a daily basis is no fucking joke. Nobody sees that. Nobody sees how much I'm hurting on the inside, physically and emotionally. We all just forget about who hurt. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I just need to forget about all the hurt and just try to move on. Leave it all behind and just move on. But how do I do that? So I was so excited to see my family, especially since we've decided that we should separate. Well, I guess I should say I decided that we should separate because I am not okay living with things, with continuing to live with things for the rest of my life the way they are for the last 12 years. So I was so excited to go see my parents after all this shit went down, only to be reciprocated by how my family are. And I guess I've been so defensive in the last 8 months that I've just kind of put up this wall and built it around me to help protect myself. But it's not protecting me, it's hurting me because I let things get out of control. I let my family get the better of me. And they didn't get to see any of the changes that I have made for myself in my life in the last 6 months, or since my accident. They didn't get to see any of the changes. We didn't even talk about our decision to separate. It was as if we all came together and all of our baggage and our issues with each other, with ourselves, whatever going on in our lives. It's like it all just got left at the door, so we came in and we just tried to be normal like we usually are around each other, except it will never be normal again. It'll never be the same again because I am not the same. And I keep telling myself, I just gotta keep moving forward. I gotta keep moving forward with my plan of action, everything I need. I gotta keep moving one step at a time. Because if I don't, and I accept this life as the way things are, I'm gonna be miserable for the rest of my life, and it's gonna eat me up inside until I become somebody that nobody wants to hang around with. I don't want to be that person. I love people. I thrive around people. Only the good energy people. The bad energy people, you just drain me. I can't. People come into your life unannounced sometimes, and you think they're good for you. You think they're your friends. You think that you can rely on them. You think that they have your best interests in heart. But sometimes it's hard for people to be selfless. And everyone is just looking out for themselves. So I have to look out for myself and my boys. And by no way means or shape do I think that I am the best role model. But I do consider myself to be the realest role model who can accept when I'm wrong, can admit when I'm being selfish, can admit when I'm being disrespectful and rude and condescending and hurtful. And I can see the good and the bad, and the ugly inside of myself. And I'm not in denial about it. I'm real and human. We're all human. I just want to be the best human I can be. And the best human I can be for my boys. So that they're not in their 30s, their late 30s, when they're grown up and have their own children, dealing with all this emotional shit that I'm dealing with and saying, why did you fuck me up so much? How could you think that what you did would, how could you think that everything you exposed us to as children would A, not affect us, B, that we would not remember it, or C, think that it was okay? I've said this before and I'll say it again. Being a parent is hard. Being a good parent is even more difficult and is even more exhausting. More painful. All of it. And I'm trying to find the tools, the right tools to help me be that better parent. Because right now, whatever's going on in my boys' lives, whatever they're exposed to, whatever they hear, whatever they see, right now is what affects them. Right now is what they'll remember. Right now is what sets the tone for who they become. And if I don't keep that in mind every single day, for the next 5 years, I will not be able if I do not take that into account every day for the next few years, then I will not be able to influence my children into, I mean that in the best way, to show them what a healthy life is, what a healthy relationship is, what a healthy mindset is. Because all of this stems from inside of you because our minds are so strong. When we get in a funk, and it's so hard to get out of that funk, like depression is an example. But this is not only what I'm talking about. Take depression, for instance. I do believe that I suffer with depression, and I think, we all suffer with depression in our own way, but it is how we deal with it. Do we shut ourselves up from the world and lock ourselves in our room, stay in bed, stay in the dark, avoid people? Or do we keep pushing through it every single day and just trying to make each day better than the last? If you don't, now my point is, if you don't try to physically remove yourself or get out of the situation you're in, you're just going to get lost in your mind. It's going to get a hold of you. It's going to grab onto you. It's going to sink you further into those feelings of regret and self-doubt and sadness and disappointment and ashamed. But we got to break out of it. We have to break out of it. We have to let our minds free. We have to be healthy. We have to get sunshine and fresh air every day to help us get out of this funk. Otherwise, it will consume us and it will change who we are. It's so important sometimes to know your body's medical history. Just sometimes it's important. I mean, you don't have to know, but if you want to better understand yourself, better understand, how to parent, sometimes you can do a little bit of digging and sweeping through. Only if you want to. Not everybody has to, I think, and a lot of people are just okay with the reality of what their life is about how they can do that it needs to be. Or not trying to have every stone be overturned to find all the shit that's under it, speaking metaphorically. Am I just rambling or am I making sense? in the same regard as I'm saying these things, I'm also trying to find the motivation to get out of the fucking bed because I couldn't fall asleep last night, so I went to bed super late watching movies. And now I just want to pity myself and stay in my bed all day and not do shit. I don't want to get up. I don't want to feel motivated to do my laundry or unpack my suitcase for my trip or clean my room. I don't want to do any of those things. I just want to sit here and cry and wallow in my misery, my guilt, my shame. And disappear from the planet of the earth. But that's not an option. It is not an option for me, not when I have two little boys. That even though 80% of the day I feel like I'm non-existent in their world, they need me. I need them. This is the role we choose when we choose to have a child. Accidental pregnancies, you know what? If you're too young or you're not ready and it's still early, don't have a baby. Because you have no idea how hard it is to have a child and to raise a good child, because you yourself have to be a good person. And if you're not a good person, you're not going to raise a good person. This is why there's so much shit in the world today, because people are so fucking entitled and so full of their own shit. And instead of teaching our children how to be good human beings, we teach them how to stand up for their selfish intentions and to be on cell phones 24/7 or social media. And what is social media teaching you? Nothing that's fucking real. I know there's a lot of social media that helps and that's positive for life, for the world, for humankind, but there's more negative on social media than there is positive. And all of this social media platforms, YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook. WhatsApp for me is not too bad yet. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. What else am I missing? So many more. TikTok. I cry. I cry for my boys. I cry for the future that they're going to have. I don't know what it's going to hold, but I know it's going to be very different from the life I had. I never mean myself, I mean in general, in how the world is changing and moving and evolving so fast. Okay, let's get up. Let's set an intention for the day, one intention. Let's just set one intention for the day that I can focus on all day to see if that makes me feel better than how I am now. And that intention is to be grateful that I'm still here, to be grateful that I still have an opportunity of making a difference in my life, in my boy's life, and in the lives of the people that I love and truly care for me. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Anything could happen, and I could not wake up. So for today, I want to be grateful that I have an opportunity to live my truth and to show people that being kind or being nice doesn't take anything from you. If anything, being kind and being nice will open up doors and show you sides of people you didn't know existed, or show people sides of you that they haven't seen in a long time in others. I know I have that capability. I just have to stay in the mindset of being grateful. It's not easy. It's not easy. But let's do that. Let's be grateful for today, for the opportunity that we've been given. And let's see how the day unfolds. Peace and love to all, and goodwill to men and women and children. Happy New Year. I don't set resolutions for each new year because there's so many things in this world that I feel like I'm taking out of context, but let's just choose to be grateful for one thing every day and see if that makes a difference. And today I want to choose to be grateful for the life that I have, to be grateful that I am alive, rather than wanting to disappear from this earth.